Hi, it's Frank Pleasants with Vyral Marketing. I wanted to thank you so much for watching this. You're going to meet Kandis here, who's a real estate agent in Tempe. She was a hairstylist and decided to get into real estate, which paid more and gave her some more freedom.
That's right.
And kind of her initial plan was to bang out a lot of cold calls, which chances are, I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Got kind of exhausting and kind of drained on you emotionally. So she was referred by a friend of ours, a client of ours, Kevin Kaufman in Tempe, Arizona, and she signed up and it's working well for her. So I want to figure out why it's working well for her. I want to figure out why she did it. I want to figure out what she's doing to be successful. And hopefully you'll walk away with some good tips that if you're kind of stuck on the transaction treadmill of kind of interrupting strangers all day long to try to find somebody who wants to buy or sell a home, there might be a different way of going about getting your business that might be a little bit easier and maybe shock Kandis a little more profitable. Would you agree?
Yes.
Great. So Kandis, welcome. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on.
How did you hear about us?
Well, Kevin had recommended you, and I looked into it, and I thought this is kind of brilliant. People always harp on me to do video, and then I would have all the best intentions, and then it wouldn't. A fire would happen, and I would go do that instead of make the video.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I think I was on the wrong microphone. Do I sound better now?
yeah, either way.
Sounds good. So you knew you wanted to do video, you just never got it done?
He would just not be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you first started in real estate, what did you do to get business?
Well, I did not believe that the people in my life really loved me, or that maybe loved me enough to trust me with, their biggest asset. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just cold call. I'll call expireds, I'll door knock, and I'll, work on FISBOs. And that's what I did for about the first 3 or so years in the business.
Got it. And how'd that do for you? Did you make sales, get clients? It worked fine?
Yeah. 100 calls a day, that sort of stuff. But I was wore out.
That's good. And you fired up all the emotion and the ability to knock those out for 3 straight years, huh?
Yeah, it was.
How did you get yourself in the zone to be able to do that on your own?
I think just, the brokerage I was with, that's sort of what they kind
Culture.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought this is just the way to do it. And then, I slowly started to ask myself, like, gosh, is this really my life? I'm not happy. I'm not. There's got to be a better way.
When did that point come?
When I started to look around, right? They always tell you to model behavior, look at other top producers and then model the behavior. And I was looking around the office and I'm like, these people are just hanging out with people. It's like the lead generation seemed a lot easier. And so I thought, wow, okay, I'm scared to call them. So I'll just call and ask for if I can have, coffee or happy hour just to connect.
So you just saw a lot of people that enjoyed their jobs and they were hanging out with their friends, selling houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I want to do this. So I started.
Yeah, but you can't really apply like a cold call, I'm trying to close for an appointment hard, expired mentality to calling up your friends, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And that took a huge shift. Tell us about this shift of like a philosophically how you approach someone to start a business conversation.
Well, I just had to figure out, like, I've got to deepen relationships. That's what my buddy Ben Marquez, he was like, Kandis, you just got to get deeper relationship with people. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm a high D, right? I'm just like to the point. That's why I think could survive in the cold call side of the business, because I'm kind of a beast like that. But I'm like, okay, there's got to be, okay, I'll slow down, have coffee, connect, or, cocktail, happy hour, dinner, lunch, etc. And I am much better face to face, belly to belly. So I love that aspect. And so I just started to deepen relationships that I had. And then I just started building the sphere of influence, if you will, bigger and bigger as time grew. And I started to just become more social and just to figure out, like, what are the pillars of my life? Like, what am I into? Right. And then I built my sphere around those activities that I enjoyed.
So how did you initially start you had to make a pretty big shift after 3 years, knocking out 100 cold calls a day. And now all of a sudden, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You're probably afraid of not getting business.
Well, I think
then you started going after your sphere. Can you tell me a little more about how you made that psychological shift and maybe specifically what you did, like proactively start reaching out to all these people you knew?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just set a goal, right? Like five, five or yeah, around five bellies, right? So whatever that was, break bread, whatever. So I just set a goal of five every week. And then I would just, as I gained confidence in my relationships, then I would just expand on that. And then I thought to myself, oh, okay, instead of like asking one person a lunch, do I know two or three people that know each other that know me? And then I got them all together. So then I was, in front of more people at one time. And then I transitioned to like, oh, I should just have events. And then that's sort of, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally like to
Yeah,
party.
you went one to one to one to many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
So you're doing this, and you probably realize you needed some way to stay in touch with all these people after you met them and went to lunch and went to all the events. What were you doing to stay in touch with your database? Let's call it your sphere before you hired us here at Vyral Marketing.
Well, I had, really inconsistent, once again, yucky newsletters that weren't really video. It was just like,
Probably more the canned crappy
yes,
content going out. Yeah.
yes, but at least I was doing that, and then still just belly to belly. That was more, and then I realized like, oh, if I'm probably leaving money on the table by not offering real valuable content.
Got it. So you're looking around to start getting video done, and you liked Vyral, huh?
Yeah,
Really?
I thought it was brilliant. And then two, Jenny Wolick, I'm originally from Oklahoma. And so
Nice.
I was like, yeah, she is good.
Isn't she?
Yeah, she is really great. And then I noticed that she was with you guys too. And I trust Kevin a ton. I've always bounced things off of him. And so I feel like if he sends me somewhere or to someone, that it's really from a place of because he trusts you.
Yeah, he's going to do work for him.
Yeah. So I thought, perfect. Let's go all in, because I knew that also too, as you scale a business, you have to scale your systems. And I just wasn't being consistent. So part of how I was just able just to pull the trigger and move quickly on Vyral was just because I'm like, I need somebody to show up to film the videos. And so that was, and I love the content and your ideas and your text copy. So there was like, a lot of different things that I loved about it. And it is great to work with your staff and just, have somebody to bounce the script off of, to write the script of the video with. Like, that's huge for me. I think that's half the battle, is just figuring out what to say.
Yeah. And it's nice when you schedule a time and we come with you some ideas. We kind of hash out the idea of the video. Yeah. And then we interview you on a webcam. We just signed up for a new service called Riverside. We'll be using that. We'll be able to get higher quality video content because it records right to your hard drive and send it to us.
Oh.
So we have this whole like new way of we'll be interviewing your video shortly that I signed up for. I'm really excited about it. It's a good company. So yeah, look good. Yeah. So what have been some of your most successful topics that you sent out that you find get the most engagement from your centers of influence?
I think the market update that I do one of those a month. I work with Lauren, and I think doing that market update gives people just a chance to kind of keep their finger on the pulse of the market. And then, I obviously just market specific. This is a really crazy time. People have questions right now about, are we gonna, is our market gonna, bust like, 2008? And so I made a great video on that. And then, people selling simultaneously as, when they buy as well. So I think fear-based. I just address the fears in my videos.
Got it. So you're taking the fears and the pain points that you're hearing on the phone with people.
Yeah. And
you're just addressing them in your videos.
Correct.
You do a monthly market update and then some other fear video. Sounds like.
Yeah. Like whatever. Yeah, I'm starting to hear a lot of like what are the challenges in our market right now.
What are some of the topics you're going to make this month? What would you say your topics this month are going to be? You want to send out?
Obviously I'll do another market update. And I think, probably is, what's going to happen once our interest rates start to shift up, so that way people have a better understanding of how things affect the market, what affects the market. So I think I'll derive some topics from that so that people can just get a better understanding. Is it the right time to buy? Like it is if you have quite a bit of money saved. And you can, waive the appraisal contingency, things like that. Yeah, it's still the right time because the interest rates are low, but maybe it might not be the right time for you. So let's maybe just hold off.
What how do you know this is working? So you send these videos out, you put all this effort into this. How do you know people are watching them and even care about it and stuff?
You want the real truth?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
100%.
When your ex-boyfriend texts you like a picture of his computer screen because
And there you are.
because he's still in the database, and I was like I'm even turning red now, right? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll delete you. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. He's like, no need.
Cool.
If
Well,
we're
so people, he's watching them.
well, it just, I mean, I think, and then people message me, Frank, honestly.
Yeah.
They're like, man, your videos are great. You'd be like, keep crushing it. And then, when I can sit down at a listing appointment and I can, show someone my YouTube channel because it goes there, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On
I
your
can show
Facebook page, on your YouTube channel, goes on your Google My Business page.
exactly.
You can show them like you're kind of like doing things and you're active and you're doing marketing and you hopefully know what you're talking about because you're managing to make videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think that they can tell, like, if I'm not afraid to make this video and invest professionally into, my career, that I'm probably an agent that's gonna, work well for them, right? I'm going to promote their home. I'm going to, I'm out there. I think that matters for people. And when they Google me, they find me and they're like, oh, video. Then now they can see who I am, how I am, all the things.
Do you find it's helping you convert and getting people to know who you are before the listing appointment when they watch your stuff online?
I do think that.
Yeah.
I've had more, I mean, I can't go, it's like direct, but I've had more people reach out to me. Oh, hey, I found you on Google. I'm like, how'd you?
Oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Relocation people. So I think, that those are clients that are getting on the internet. Like, who should I use? And
And somehow they find you in a very hyper competitive market of Phoenix.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
50,000 agents to choose from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
You have to do something to set yourself apart.
Well, it's the whole quote of like money flows to differences, not similarities. And you're doing something very different.
I like it.
Yeah. So we give you the report of all the people that open the emails and watch the videos. Do you do anything with that? Is that helpful to kind of see like who's actually engaging and clicking on your stuff?
It is.
Tell us how you use that.
It's just a little surprising sometimes. You're like, oh, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
They watched it, huh?
Clicking on like, what's my home worth?
Yeah. Well, I want to share with the audience really quick. So you have the people that open the email. We can tell you that. And we can tell you who clicks on the videos. But what's cool is you can actually see who clicks on the call to action links, such as finding out what your home is worth or search homes for sale. And I kind of consider those leads. I give those people a call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
It's good to just check in. You don't have to be direct. You can just say, oh, hey, just thinking about you, that sort of thing. And then just, I always love the question like, hey, do you have any questions about the real estate market currently? Or, are you curious at all to know what your home's worth? Those are just like, I always say, like, coming from contribution. And so when you can do that, then it's not salesy, and it is from the heart. Like, I do care.
So do you enjoy the way you go about business now? Like, has it shifted from being entirely cold call and now it's all database? I mean, how many people are in your database of like your legitimate sphere, would you say?
Oh gosh, Frank, well, that's a question for my assistant, but
well, you have your whole email list, but like, what's like your real sphere list?
Like my personal sphere?
Yeah.
I would say probably 500 of my closest.
These are 500 people in Tempe or in Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. Scottsdale.
In Phoenix that you've met either through an event or been introduced to that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing specifically with those 500 people beyond maybe sending them the videos, the Vyral marketing plan? What else are they getting from you?
So we have a gifting program. So top of mind, they get a gift each quarter.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you use for that?
Client Giant.
Client Giant. I've heard about that's Kevin likes those guys, doesn't he?
Yes. Gosh.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
Kevin, he's awesome, right? He
is awesome. Yeah. He also has a really cool option called the world's most interesting postcard, because one of the things I like you to do at Vyral is take like your top 125, 150 relationships. If you can afford more, do all 500.
Okay.
But also send them a monthly piece of mail, like physical mail. So, you do your 2 videos a month, you put them on social media, and you're going to hit like, a percentage of those people digitally. But, you should also have their mailing addresses, at least knowing where they live. That would make sense as a realtor, right? Yeah. And mail's strong. I mean, I check my mail, I look at my mail, and if you can, I like you to send like a monthly personal letter, maybe what you talked about in your 2 videos via mail. That's like your top contacts. It costs about $1 a letter. So Kevin loves it. He mails his database let's say he spends the money of like mailing his database once a month of 500. But he's like, Frank, I don't even have to do a letter. I mean, I get the letter, I get it, but I send the world's most interesting postcard. Like, really? So he sent it to me. You can go Google it. It's called the world's most interesting postcard. It's a little thing that Dean Jackson, who's a marketer, put together. He sends it out. It's really good. I recommend you go check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So send that out to your 500 every single month. And I think you'll get a bump in response of referrals pretty quick.
Perfect. I also do a birthday program. I send out a birthday card with a little lottery ticket.
Oh, really?
So
nice.
That, yeah. Right. I'm like, yes, I hope I get lucky on my birthday. Right. That's what
that's great.
So yeah.
Client Giant. Well, look at them up. I've heard about them. How much does it cost to put somebody on like 2 nice things a year? How often do you send them a gift?
It's their 4 times a year. It's $99 a client.
Got it.
Which, I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's and the gifts are very curated. So it's not this cheesy looking like it came from Client Giant. Like literally it looks like I curated the gift and I sent it. And it's really it's related to the time of year or what's going on in the world. Like it's just amazing. People love it. And it's
kind of cool. So you spend $100 a year per person.
Mm-hmm.
So for 500, are you spending 50 grand a year on gifts?
I don't know if not everyone's in the top of mind. Once they have an under contract program as well. So once we go under contract, we add them to the top of mind program as well.
Cool.
So I don't know how many people are in there currently. It's a little bit more for my unicorns, what we like for unicorns.
I like that. That's cool. Awesome. So do you how do you know when the birthdays come up? Do you send something out for the birthdays? You write a card or?
Yeah, through the CRM, and then I just write a little card.
And you grab a lottery ticket to 7-Eleven?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So just something fun that I think it creates a little, a memory. And I love to get the text messages like, oh, thank you. Instead of just a card, it's some, because there's not a lot you can really put into a card, other than a gift.
Yeah, I like that.
So.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I'm getting some ideas here. I like the lottery ticket. Yeah, you're full of good stuff. It probably all came from Kevin Kaufman. I got to bring him on here. We all got to talk about how great he is. Everyone's like, who's this Kevin Kaufman dude? Right?
Yeah. The lottery ticket was all me, but yes.
That's a cool tip. I like that. We actually heard that back a while. There was an advertising agency. It was basically like, your marketing is so bad. Here's some lottery tickets because you probably have a better probability of winning this. Call me.
Oops.
Yeah, but that was kind of funny.
Well, I'm not a marketing. I don't have a degree in marketing. That's why I depend on people like you and Client Giant to do the job for us, right? I have to scale the business. I have to maintain the relationship on a personality, on a personal level, but I have to hire someone to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
You have a degree in marketing or some, I imagine?
Marketing, business, entrepreneurship. Yeah, my whole life I've been learning and just doing all this stuff. You got it.
Skills.
Yeah, you are.
I know how to keep the relationship.
So you got 500 key relationships. How much business have you gotten over the past 12 months from those 500 relationships? Either referrals, they've hired you. How do you know that you're getting business from those 5 people you're investing into?
Well, we track, right? I've got an Excel spreadsheet that we use for our business. And on that, one column is the source. So I know where things are coming from, right? So we're probably at around an 80% referral base.
Wow, that's great. And how many deals you the past 12 months?
This year, I think we're currently at 40 transactions.
That's great.
Probably, the goal is 100 transactions this year.
And they're all coming from the relationships that you currently know. You said you're doing some events. What are the events that you're doing?
So I always do a pie event the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I call it the gratitude gathering, and I do the big pie giveaway. So, and then, before COVID, we would always, do a fun location, food, live band, photo booth, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we always do that. So we'll be bringing that back this year. And then usually I'll do a lot of smaller events, like one-offs, like wine tastings, paint night, yoga classes, just different things to connect, cooking class. I like doing those smaller ones too. I feel like they're a little more impactful just because I can connect a little bit easier when it's a group of 10 or 20 versus, 500 people.
Are you a social person? Do you enjoy doing those?
Yeah. Yes.
You do?
Yeah. I don't like the details part of, right. My personality is not that, but I like to show up. I like to work the room. I like to have fun with people.
Good. That's great. Yeah, these are all wonderful things. I mean, this is such a kind of a good interview of like, someone's like, banging out cold calls all the time. And now they're kind of seeing this entire shift in kind of the approach you go with your business. I'm just assuming you had to get to a point where like, usually when you're cold calling, it's very like fear driven of like, I need appointments and sales now. So you're like banging out cold calls, but you had to shift from being a little more fear driven to like giving and relationship driven. That had to have been hard when you actually had to get listings and commissions done.
Well, I had some business that was coming to me. I just, from my sphere, I just had to figure out how to deepen relationships and how to get into relationship with people. I think I was just, I don't know, I was scared.
Yeah.
Finally I started giving back and I'm like, okay.
And again, I just want to get what made the shift? What was it that like shifted you from 3 years of cold calls to like going down the path of everything that we talked about here? I mean, spending money on gifts, doing events and birthday notes and paying money to viral marketing and getting yourself on video. That's a huge shift. I'm just curious. What was it?
It didn't happen overnight. I didn't give up the cold calling until I could start to see some results.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just a smart business decision, But also I think the transition happened when I did do it and I got to the table of a warm lead and I'm like, oh, you mean you don't even want my listing presentation?
Oh, those are the best, aren't they? Yeah. Sign me up.
You just want to sign? Perfect.
Yeah. Send me the paperwork, DocuSign, done, sell the house. And I didn't come out here.
I'm like, this is where it's at. Forget this cold calling stuff. I get to do things I love. I'm like, this is genius.
Yeah, it's great.
So I've like interwoven my business into my life and my daughter's life, right? I'm always lead generating. That's the thing I tell new agents that join my team. I'm like, this is a lifestyle. This isn't a career.
You're right. I mean, you the people that you go out throughout the day, throughout the week that you meet, you're getting their contact information, you're throwing in the database, you have a whole bunch of tools to stay in front of all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great, Kandis. What tips do you have? I guess let me ask you this question. How do you know that you're getting return on investment from viral marketing? Like a lot of this stuff is everything you share with me is relatively hard to track down to the specific thing that you do. How do you track ROI on what you do? What are your philosophies behind that?
My philosophy is that my coach told me, he's like, if you're not in front of your database once a week, you're leaving money on the table via email, right? And more specifically, he's like, you're great on video. You should be doing more video.
You are good on video. What's your video blog link where people can go to check out your stuff?
What's that? I'm sorry?
What's your video blog link that Vyral built for you when they go check out your videos?
Oh gosh, Frank. It is Palmer. I think it's azpalmerhomes.com.
azpalmerhomes.com.
Yeah, I didn't do that at first because I had the website. Yeah. And then I realized that I think the blog is
or better. Let me give you a better idea for those of you watching. Just Google Kandis Palmer.
Yeah.
Because everything that we put online, we optimize it for the person. It's really hard to optimize for like best Phoenix real estate agent. I mean, good luck on that one. Mm-hmm. Usually as people hear about, who you are, and just type your name into Google and you want to have a bunch of videos showing up. So you can kind of see who you are first. And it gets them more comfortable talking to you and knowing who you are. And that's what we do for the videos.
Yeah. So I just know that it's got to get done. For as far as the email marketing goes, I also I like the video. So I'm like, for me, it just makes sense. It's part of like what needs to happen. If you're not, I think you're leaving money on the table. I agree with my coach 100%.
You have a good coach. You have a good coach.
Yeah.
How long have you been coaching with somebody?
Since first year of the business.
This is why you're successful. I mean, you're sitting here telling me you're not a marketer, but the stuff that you're doing, the fact that you started in the business and did 100 calls a day right away, and then you made a shift to work your database and you have all these things in place, you're running a wonderfully enjoyable, profitable business. I think you should be a role model for a lot of people. I really mean that. And you have some people working on your team, right? You have a couple agents. Good for them.
Yeah.
Then you're teaching them the same systems that you're doing to go out and work their sphere with how you're working it, correct?
Yeah. To come onto my team, you have to have a list of 100.
Good for you. When did you start your business? When did you start your team?
I got into the business at 2014.
Well, when did you start the team? Sorry.
The team probably 2.5 years ago. And then when I got my current coach, I reorganized the whole team. So it's
Got it.
kind of starting-
Under working the same philosophies that you have,
Yeah.
right? Got it. What's next for you? What are you working on next? What next challenges are you tackling?
Yeah, I recently became a real estate coach for my coach's coaching organization, Rieger Coaching Consulting. So that's sort of taken off for me, growing the team. It's my goal to hire 12 agents by the end of this year. And then just working on my revenue share part of EXP.
Good.
So.
Yep. I'm going to I'll be at the Tony Robbins event that's coming up if you're watching this in Dallas. And I will be at the EXP event, EXPCon in Mirage, at the Mirage, I believe it's being held in November.
We'll have to connect in Dallas. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be a great time.
Yeah.
So Kandis, it was about 30 minutes. I won't take up too much of your time. I appreciate you hopping on here and sharing some of your ideas and feedback and what you're doing with everyone. And I think it's just a really good interview of someone who's stuck with dealing with strangers all the time. How do you shift? Get a coach. Who's your coach? You can tell us the company you're working for, Kandis.
Yeah, Rieger Coaching and Consulting.
Craig?
Yeah.
Got it. So go check out Craig. He's doing a damn good job. If you can hear what Kandis is doing and you work with her, you could be so happy.
Yeah.
So, Kandis, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. And thanks for being my marketing partner.